Alrighty.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. Our intention had been to go live on Facebook, but a lot of people are utilizing so many different forms of technology today, and things aren't always working the way they want them to. But we are looking at this as a way to connect with you and to possibly just help you and bring you some hope during this time and equip you with some knowledge and some information that could help you as we go through this crazy season of life. My name is Tanya Sheldon. I live in Meridian, Idaho, and I have been working with this amazing woman, Gloria Brinker, out of Minnesota for 4 or 5 years. Gloria, how long have we worked together?
I think so, maybe.
We'll
Probably
go with
four.
that.
Probably four. Yeah,
Okay,
because it was
probably.
just 4 years. Yeah.
She is someone that I am so grateful. I so grateful to know this woman because anytime I have a health issue or a health question or a health struggle, she literally is the first person I go to because I know that she, in her experience, she is so equipped with so much knowledge. She's dabbled in so many different products. She knows what's working for people firsthand, and she does her research. Even if she doesn't have the answer, she goes and finds it to the best of her ability by doing such thorough research. I just believe in her so much. So I'm going to give you a background on Gloria. Gloria Brinker started her career in occupational therapy, working in subacute, long-term, and acute therapy. And after 9 years, she was offered the position of Director of Rehab and Wellness at a covenant of retired Benediction sisters. She learned firsthand the positive effects of natural health, diet, emotional, and spiritual health, and what they had in rehabilitation outcomes. After 5 years, Gloria felt compelled to continue her studies. She is presently certified in natural health, massage, reflexology, healing touch, and is an NES and EVOX practitioner. Gloria focuses on functional health, including educating others on how the body functions and how to support the body in doing its job, helping people to survive and thrive. And that's what we stand for here. It's not about over supplementation. It's about knowing that our body is equipped with pathways. Our body is equipped with so much potential to do what it's supposed to do, but just giving it the tools to function at the capacity that it has a potential to do so. So Gloria is going to address that today and just help you equip yourself for being quarantined and being inside. What can we be doing right now to really make ourselves feel the best, Gloria?
Okay, I can take it away.
Take it
Is
away,
that right?
Gloria.
Okay. So
Yes.
what I want to do first is just kind of share. I only have 2 slides to show everybody, so it's not going to be too overwhelming, but I do think that it helps people to be able to picture more what I'm talking about. Now, I'm trying to, okay, from the beginning here. Okay, so I only have 2 basic slides that I'm going to show. And like Tanya had said, I really want to study and understand, and I think I have a pretty good basic and understanding about how the body functions. And I've always thought that we simply need to just help our body to function like it needs to function. In our present environment, it gets much more difficult. We all know that we don't live in the same world as our grandparents did. Our foods have changed, our quality of foods have changed, our air, our Wi-Fi, electronic components. Our bodies weren't really meant to handle all the electronics that we have. And so how do we survive now in the world that we're given? Our body is so amazing. So amazing. So I really want to just educate what keeps us healthy. And that's why I call it functional health. Our bodies need to function, but how do we support our body in functioning? And so like the slide here says, what does it mean to be healthy? It's not a perfect weight. It's not a certain diet, not a certain exercise, and it's not ever about never getting sick, but it's really giving our cells the health that they need so that we can survive in this world that we live in. So we'll just kind of go on to the next slide. And so these are the 4 basic things that I want to talk about. And this is how our body really takes energy in. So our body needs the fuel, the energy, whatever you would like to call it, to get through our day. And so I want to talk about these 4 different components and what we can do on a daily basis. And our body needs all of this, and all of this interacts with each other. So it's not just diet, not just exercise, again, not just all these basic things, but really this is a screen that I think is phenomenal. It gives a clear picture of how our body takes in and how our body keeps our cells healthy. So the first thing I'm just going to talk about is diet and nutrition. And so I have a practice like Tanya was talking about, and I do have people who come into me and they are purists, where they're very pure about what they're eating. They're organic foods. Some of them are vegan, some of them vegetarian, but they're really conscientious of what foods that they're taking in. And foods supply the calories that we need for our body to get through the day, but our cells actually need those foods to be broken down and put into our body. So our cells need vitamin C, and our cells need magnesium and vitamin D. It doesn't need the orange. It needs our orange to be broken apart and to be put into our cells so that our cells can do the work that they need to do. And so within that, what I'm finding is that when I do the research is that many times they radiate our foods in the warehouses. Now, the benefit of that is that the foods actually have a longer shelf life. And so for me in Minnesota, avocados can make it to Minnesota, and oranges and things like that can actually make it to Minnesota. The problem with the radiation of the foods is that it kills off some of the digestive enzymes that are in the food that we need so our bodies can break down that food. And so with less digestive enzymes, I strongly believe that everybody needs to have good gut health, good to really support our the health of our gut, so that our gut can actually take in the foods that we're eating, break them down and break them into the vitamins and the minerals and the amino acids and the essential fatty acids, so that our cells can actually do the work that they need to do. So vital for us. That's the only way that we get nutrition into our foods. So we need to be focusing on gut health. So that includes digestive enzyme. It includes probiotics, and good healthy probiotics, making sure that the probiotics make it to the small and large intestine. Our stomach does not need probiotics, but our small and large intestine are the things that need the probiotic. So we want to take a probiotic, making sure that it's getting to the small and large intestine so the probiotic can do what it needs to do. Prebiotics are another really good thing that we need. And so prebiotics actually come in the form of plant fibers. Many people do juicing. You can be juicing your vegetables. Don't forget when you juice not to just juice your fruits. Fruits are very high in sugars. And so if you put some vegetables in with that, then it doesn't have such a high glycemic index or so much sugar getting into the body. But plant fibers are a must. Sometimes people can actually get prebiotics in the form of a powder, mix it with water and drink that down. But the 3 of those things together are ensuring that we are getting our nutrition and our foods into our body. The other thing that the probiotic does, and that's why it's so important that it gets to the small and the large intestine, is probiotics many times act kind of like a gatekeeper. What gets in the blood, what does not get in the blood. And we want to make sure that we keep our blood extremely clean. And so we want to have the probiotic in the gut to ensure that it controls more what's going in and what's not going in. And that's just what they consider leaky gut syndrome. So many people talk about leaky gut, gut permeability. And so digestive enzymes and the probiotics and the prebiotics can really help with that syndrome. And so what I'm going to go on to with hydration is to just making sure that you are getting hydrated. The rule of thumb usually is if you take your body weight and divide it by 2, that is how many ounces of water that our body needs, ounces of liquid to be getting in. We never want our bodies to be dehydrated, simply because then if we're taking any kind of anything that we put in our mouths, we don't want to have a lack of hydration, because then sometimes supplements and medications, things that we go into our bloodstream, are actually like too concentrated in there. And we want to keep our bodies hydrating so that the waste products can actually get out of the body. Many times hydration is a culprit for constipation and also for like bladder irritation. So you want to make sure that you're getting hydrated, getting the hydration into the body. So nutrition in, good hydration. The next thing I want to talk a little bit about movement. And so movement is kind of an interesting one. there's a lot of people that go out and exercise extremely hard, and that is okay if you're trying to get stronger, if you're trying to build muscle bulk, muscle mass, then it's okay to be doing those, or even specific exercises to be able to play different sports. That's all okay. But the general rule of thumb is that too much exercise actually causes lactic acid in the cells of the blood, and then that can actually lead to a condition known as oxidative stress, and we want to be keeping the oxidation of our cells at a low. So moderate daily exercise for health is really the best thing that you can do. Along with all of these things, we want to have enough iron in our blood through good digestion to have enough on our hemoglobin so that we have enough red blood cells and things like that to get around. We want to have the hydration, we want to have the movement, and all of those together actually help to oxygenate the tissues in our body, and we need oxygen throughout our tissues to do everything that needs to do. Many times when people are very stressed, stressful situations is what can actually deplete our body of oxygenation. And the reason for that is that our diaphragm muscle, which lies just below, it kind of runs horizontally just below our lungs, and it's kind of separates the abdominal organs from the lungs, and we need our diaphragm muscle to do some breathing. When people are extremely stressed, they tend to do a lot of shallow breathing, and so the diaphragm muscle gets kind of pulled up. What goes through the diaphragm muscle, it's in the solar plexus area, is bundles of nerves, the lymphatic system, and the blood system. So when we are too stressed, holding our diaphragm muscle up too high, we are of course also blocking some of the nerve, the lymphatic, and the bloodstream from getting down into there. So a very free thing that you can do is one procedure is called thymus thumping. And so your thymus lies in the middle of your sternum. I'm just going to tip the computer a little bit right here, but it's right here is where it is. And so if you do thymus thumping, and they say to kind of do like a little bit of a wall step, so like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The thymus is part of our immune system. It's also part of our emotional system. When we tap on the thymus, it brings very calmness to the body. And so that with some deep breathing exercises can really help to decrease the stress in that diaphragm muscle and allow that diaphragm muscle to be doing some really deep breathing, and of course then open up all the pathways to lower body. And so a good thing when you're going to be do some breathing things, a good way to breathe is you breathe into the count of 4, you hold your breath to 8, and you breathe out very slowly to the count of 12. So if you do that like 7 times, 3 times a day, so you breathe in to the count of 4, hold that for a count of 8, again, breathe out for a count of 12. What that really does is helps to de-stress that diaphragm muscle so that our body can function and our body can oxygenate the rest of the cells. One study that I read is that if you do that deep breathing 7 times, 3 times a day, that it can actually boost your immune system by 11 times. And we always need that, but right now we might want to focus on that a little bit more. It's very easy to do and a free thing to do, and it not just helps with the immune system, but helps with oxygenating for the rest of your body as well. Another thing is day and night time. And so we need to actually absorb sunlight during the day. Our body is like a big solar panel. And so that's why when people go out in the sun, they feel so much better. When us in Minnesota, we have a lot of snowbirds, they go down south and they always say they feel so much better because of the sunlight is there, and our bodies have to absorb that sunlight. So it's extremely important that you get outside. Even on a cloudy day, our body can benefit from being outside, and so it absorbs sunlight during the day, and then at nighttime when we sleep, it takes all that the stored energy from the sun and actually converts it into far infrared heat at nighttime when we're sleeping. So that's why also people will talk about far infrared saunas, far infrared heating pads, different for hot houses that they can go underneath, because they have found that our body is the one that showed it to us, is that at nighttime when we sleep, it converts that sunlight into far infrared heat and helps to heal the internal organs and glands of the body. And so it's extremely, extremely important we get sunlight in the day and that we sleep very well at night. Now, one of the things that really disrupts our sleep at night is our endocrine system. When our endocrine system is out of balance, people will say, hot flashes, restlessness, the adrenal glands and your thymus and your thyroid, your pineal pituitary gland, your pancreas, all that has to heal at night when we're sleeping. And so when we are exposed to too many endocrine disruptors, that can also play a part in sleeping. So when people say they can't sleep, many professionals will say, I got to get your hormones in balance, got to get your hormones in balance. Well, that really, it means the endocrine system. A lot of endocrine disruptors are actually in our hair and skincare products. So I'd encourage you all to be looking at hair and skincare products, because we have so much circulation in our head, and because if you get cut on your head or you get cut on your arms, your head bleeds much more. That means that there's a lot more blood circulation to that area, and that's why when we put things on our face and on our hair, it can absorb into the body much more quickly. So please, there's an app that you can get on your phone, and it's called the Think Dirty app, and you can look on products in there and see where do those products rank in regards to allergen, carcinogens, and also endocrine disruptors. So look at that's called the Think Dirty app, and you put it on your phone and you can scan a barcode no matter where you go and see how many of those endocrine disruptors are in that product, and then you can choose if that's a product that you want to be using on your body. I would encourage you really to try to stay as clean as you can, and to know and understand that that can disrupt your nighttime sleep. And our body heals at night when we're sleeping. So it's so imperative that we get a good night's sleep. The last thing that I'm going to talk about here, they're called big field alignment and then polarity and grounding. And this kind of talks about the lymphatic system. When people's lymphatic system can be clogged up, those are the people that will notice the biggest health, either emotional or even physical health kinds of things when the moon changes with a full moon, when the barometric pressure changes of the air, because it's really clear then that the lymphatic system, which is the part of the body that should be free flowing, it's the free flowing waters and fluids of our body, when they become more sticky, people are more susceptible to feel pain with weather changes because the barometric pressure changes, the tide changes as the oceans go in and out. People talk about the tide. Well, the same thing that affects the tides of the ocean affects all the fluids in our own body. When our fluids in our own body are not free flowing, we will feel more pain, more swelling, those kinds of things, and also feel more emotionally disrupted with, again, the barometric pressure changes or the full moon changes. One of the greatest things that affects it in that way is our exposure to Wi-Fi and computers. And right now, many of us are glued to the computers because we're doing a lot of work from home. A very easy, simple thing to be doing, two things. You want to get your prebiotics in again. You want to get those plant-based fibers in. Those are the things that pull kind of the acids out of the lymphatic system and help so that our lymph can be more free flowing. The other thing that's extremely free to do, of course, is to spend time outside on the ground. That's why there's a picture here with the tree and the earth. So if you can get outside minimally 10 minutes a day, but up to 30 minutes or more per day, and either walk barefoot on the earth. So rubber disrupts our ability to be grounded. So we almost all have rubber-soled shoes. We've got to get those shoes off. So if it's cold outside like it is in Minnesota, I can put cotton socks on. I can put my husband's wool hunting socks on, and I can go outside and walk on the earth. And cement also counts as that because cement actually absorbs moisture things from the earth. Tar does not. So get outside minimally 10 minutes a day, and that really helps to ground our body and that we can ground things out. So our bodies are electric because that's how we communicate. We know that our heart has a synovial node, which is an electrical component. So we do have electrical charges in our body. But just like electrical current needs to have a grounding wire, we as well need to have a grounding wire, and our earth is our grounding wire. So the more that you're on a computer, the more that you're in front of electronics, the more that you're on your cell phone, the more grounding that you need outside. So I'd encourage you to get outside, walk on the earth, get your shoes off, put your socks on. The best thing to do is to go barefoot, or the best thing to do is to be doing gardening outside. So these are basically the 4 areas of our body and then what keeps our body functioning. And we need to keep our body functioning with all of those things. So with that, Tanya, that's all I have. I'll turn it back to you.
Gloria, you just, every time I hear you, I'm just blown away by the information that I get from you. It's always so valuable. And I was thinking about one thing I really always take from you is gut. Our
Yes,
gut health
gut.
is essential because you talk so much. You spent a lot of time on how we're feeding our cells, not feeding our bodies, but what we're putting in our bodies that essentially feeds our cells, and other ways to equip ourselves, to keep them clean, to wash them, to keep them, to keep our guts fertile, to give it the right probiotics and prebiotics. So
Exactly.
essential, so good. And then I think about technology, how in this time right now, it's going to be a lot easier for people to just everybody go to their own four corners of the home, and everybody be on their phones, glued to the news or glued to Facebook or whatever it's going to be. And I believe that what we're supposed to react to and realize right now is this is a time to come together. This is a time to put it down. This is a time for emotional health of our family to connect and talk and check in with one another and do those things that we haven't done for a long time, to do those things that we did before technology was so prevalent. So I just think that's another huge aspect of it all too, don't you, Gloria?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And right now, so there's always benefits no matter what troubles or trials or tribulations that we're going through. There are always benefits to it. So I almost feel like this is a time to, if you're at home a lot, to kind of embrace that time and say, okay, what about my health? And I need to learn and understand and grow. And what kind of habits can I take in right now as we have a little bit of time to focus and concentrate on that? And again, what keeps our body functioning? It's not just
Mhm.
one thing. It's never one thing. It's a whole conglomeration of keeping our bodies functioning.
Yeah. So I'm just going to go back to this again. If you're watching this, you're going to probably have many different opportunities for this to come to you, whether someone posted it on Facebook or someone sent it to you directly, or you saw it in a group. And what we want you to know is, again, Gloria she's had her business for at least 15 years,
Mhm.
and she's seen many different things come through her practice. She knows today what has worked and what has not. And the person that shared this with you, I want you to get back to them, because we are equipped with tools that can help you in all of the areas that Gloria talked about today. Some of them are completely free and just so abundant for you right now and accessible. And then there are other ways that you can boost those systems in your body that so many do not know about. So get back to the person that shared this with you. Ask them about what are some of those technologies and some of those ways that I can do what Gloria talked about, and they will help guide you and get you more information on that. So we thank you for tuning in. Gloria, thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you all for tuning in today.
Yes, we love you all. We're praying for you. Find that gratitude, find that positivity. If you can't, ask others to help you find it, and just look for support more than ever. Don't stay hidden away. Just reach out for support. We love you. Have a great day.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.